The Erskine Fire is known as the deadly fire that ripped through the Kern River Valley in the summer of 2016, destroying more than 300 homes and killing 2 people. But with all the devastation came hope. 23 ABC's Leah Pizzetti shows us how tragedy turned into an unlikely bond.
You have to drive 12 miles down a side road before you get to Daryl Snyder's home.
This is the end of the electricity, the end of the telephone. From here on out, it's ranch land and more or less wilderness.
His home is guarded by a dog with a bell, a nosy cat, and horses standing by Daryl's new red barn.
We have sheep and chickens and farm fresh eggs.
Daryl sports overalls every single day.
They got all the pockets and all the right spots.
He's a fan of his life in solitude.
People ask me why I live out here, and I said I had a choice between living by tweakers or bears.
For him, the choice is simple.
Bears are predictable.
But when you drive down that road to Daryl's house, you'll also pass charred Joshua trees. And that new red barn stands where the one before burned in the Erskine Fire. Daryl's home was in the middle of devastation.
I sat out in the road and I just watched, thinking any minute, my house has got to go up.
More than 100 miles away, another world.
Last name Yam, Y-A-M. Just like the potato.
Marcus Yam is a staff photographer for the Los Angeles Times.
Features to food assignments to breaking news.
As a photographer, he's able to fly under the radar.
Usually when I get letters from readers, it's usually because, hey, you misspelled my name, hey, you made me look fat, or hey, I didn't look that great, or how can I get those photos for free? 2
men in different worlds connected by one moment. In June of 2016, Daryl stayed with his home during the Erskine Fire as his neighbors' homes burned around him. He watched a photographer drive up, snap a picture, then drive away.
I remember the amber-colored sky, because due to the smoke, and I thought to myself, what a neat photo.
But to Daryl,
I thought you're just another media vulture.
It never occurred to me that I was seen as a vulture. I was just doing my job.
Marcus continued work taking him on an assignment overseas to Iraq, where he took these pictures, profiling an ISIS bomb diffuser.
When you go out with him in the field and he tells me, this is the moment when he tells me, run, because he's about to light the fuse.
In the middle of this life or death scenario, Marcus is contacted by the LA Times.
My equipment manager sent me an email asking if I had ordered a television and got it sent to the office.
In it, a package with a note. Dear Marcus Yam, I stood a few feet from you when you took this picture of my home. I thought to myself, another vulture sensationalizing on people's misery.
After seeing this photograph and looking at your portfolio, I was wrong.
You portray human emotion without all the makeup and glamour. You have my respect.
My home withstood the test that night, and Old Glory still waves. Today I replaced that tattered flag with a new and shiny one. I would like you to take care of the old flag for me. Sincerely, Daryl Snyder.
Flags aren't supposed to be thrown away when they're worn out. They're supposed to be taken care of. I figured he was the man to take care of it.
A simple package with this note, the picture Marcus took, and the flag from the photo spoke more volumes than Daryl could ever know.
This was the best prize gift a journalist can ever get. I mean, it's better than winning an award. I mean, this is it.
Awards do hang at the LA Times headquarters, Emmys, plaques, and now next to those keepsakes, Daryl's display. A year after the picture was taken, and the 2 men have become pen pals in a way.
This whole experience has forced me to write a letter, which I actually have never done, on pen and paper. I've always just wrote emails.
Marcus wanted to turn letters into conversations. He was sent back to the Kern River Valley for another story a year later and rolled 12 miles down that side road to the home where this picture was taken.
I just yelled his name, and all I heard was a bunch of banging in the back. And he was like, I'm here, And I went back there and it's like, you Daryl? It's like, yeah. Do you know who I am? He's like, yeah.
He's up on top and he's saying, Mr. Snyder, real timid. And I'm thinking, who is this come to bother me now? And then he said, my name is Marcus, and I just dropped everything. I got to meet this guy.
They spent the afternoon talking.
It was like meeting an old friend.
Daryl showed Marcus his display of the picture, which hangs next to family portraits. And, of course, they had to take a new one, now hanging next to the original in Daryl's home. Marcus left and returned to the busy streets of LA, leaving Daryl at his home in the quiet Kern River Valley, still faced on a daily basis with the burned reminders of Erskine. But a new flag now hangs out front, a symbol of moving forward and the friendship the two men now have.
How destiny and fate work is amazing. How one picture sets off something like this.
They're not sure when they'll see each other next, but they know they'll always have the bond over this photo. Leah Pizzetti, 23 ABC.